Yeah. You already know it's the Galactic on Illinois.l. We back cracking spell. Shout out to all the Galactic Guardians, 720 degrees. Shout out to the whole URO. Everybody living in that universal right order. Shout out to the House of Consciousness. House of Consciousness Connecticut chapter. This message being brought to you by K.O.R TV, Kingdom of Righteousness TV. Show is called Wake Up Sheeple. Y'all right now, I do. You about to jump right into the demonstration. I say to all the great prophets, ancestors, aiders, messiahs, messengers who came before, making the platform available so we could be here today giving you the message. I say jumping right into the demo, you know, as we begin to embark on this beautiful day of our Story Tuesdays. Yeah, our Story Tuesdays, we're going to embark. Let me see what, yeah, okay, say less. Good. All right, but let's see. So the math for today is 1/17, 2023, 2/9, 2/11, 2/13, 3/16, 7 God. Give me back to God. All right, but yeah. So anyway, we're gonna embark and talk about rhythm. We're gonna talk about rhythm today because my man asked me to do a demo on why white people don't have rhythm. He asked me this, you know, why just certain people lack rhythm, right? You know, but first we gotta understand, because people have a poor perception of reality. Most people only view this thing from the lower aspect or the lower chakras or their lower selves, which means they're only viewing things by how they look and how it makes them feel. That's how they're looking at the world, by how it looks and how it makes them feel through lights and colors. But that's a poor perception of reality. Divine reality deals with, you know, sound, lights, tones, frequencies, vibrations, colors, galactic heart consciousness, extreme supreme mathematics, and rhythmic patterns. Rhythmic patterns, rhythm, you know, is very vital, and it is one of the laws of the universe, because you can't even have movement without rhythm. You can't even have movement without rhythm, right? So understand there is no movement without rhythm. So we're going to jump right in and talk about rhythm. What is rhythm, right? Rhythm itself is basically the, I'm going to try to give you all the regular definition because I know I wrote it somewhere. The regular definition of rhythm. So I'm going to spit the freestyle version. A strong repeated movement or sound. A strong repeated movement or sound. By definition, to sum it up in a nutshell, rhythm comes from rhythmos, right? The Greek rhein, which means to flow, right? Which means to flow. Now, rhythm is in music, rhythm is in nature, rhythm is in life. You can't have, like I said, there won't be no movement if it wasn't for no rhythm. So obviously rhythm is a very vital, important law. Even when having sex, you need a certain rhythm. Women are not enjoying sex because the rhythm is not intact. You know, they're not actually climaxing and actually having that orgasm and stuff like that because there's no real rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Rhythm is important. And so black people, we know on a whole, has always had rhythm. You know, black people dance their ass off, the way they walk, the way they talk. You know what I'm saying? Just the way we do things in a certain rhythm. You know what I'm saying? And so rhythm is connected to your soul essence, which is like connected to your melanin. You know what I'm saying? So like, at the very core, you have this melanin, and this melanin is impact with soulful energy, and the soulful energy gives you this rhythm. The more melanin you have, the more rhythm you have. Period. The more melanin you have, the more rhythm you have. So, with that being said, why people lack rhythm? Now, according to, European scientists and stuff like that in their studies, they call it short auditory memory. You're suffering from a lack of rhythm due to short auditory memory, the ability to sense regular timing structure. The ability to sense regular timing structure, sounds, and beat sensitivity. You know what I'm saying? Which is beat sensitivity, when you can't identify, the sound, your timing is off with the sound. You're supposed to clap on the claps, you know what I'm saying? Not clap on the fucking, hi-hat or whatever the fuck, or the damn, the drum or whatever, kick type shit. So niggas be off, you know what I'm saying? ETC. So that's a part of beat sensitivity and the measure and musical training. So with music, you have to be trained in order to have certain rhythms. This is what they're saying, like with them, this is what they know. It's called musical training. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously music is beyond what we can fathom it as today. Like we just look at it as, oh, dope beats, niggas saying some words over it, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. That shit is a whole spiritual process. Music itself dates back to trance, and that's why you have dance inside of the trance. You know what I'm saying? Because music puts you in a trance state to tap into a more spiritual aspect. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times in ancient times, we dealt with things like the drum, right? But there's different types of rhythmic patterns, right? You have your random, where there's no specific pattern. You just freestyle dancing, doing all kind of different moves, busting all kind of shit. To whereas a motherfucker just two-stepping all night. A motherfucker two-stepping all night, they on a regular pattern, you know what I'm saying? Of rhythm. A motherfucker that's doing all these Chris Brown moves, backflipping and all of that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he on beat with it, but he just doing all this shit, the electric slide, he busting all the moves out to one song, but it's just like he don't, there's no pattern to it, you know what I'm saying? So that's a random, you know what I mean, pattern. Then you have like a flowing pattern where, you gotta think about like waves on the beach, how it just like more like the two-step, where you know what the nigga gonna do. It's obvious, you know what I mean? Then you got an alternating rhythmic pattern, more when you think about like the checkerboard or the Masonic board, how it's black, white, black, white, black, white, like that type of shit, like the opposite, boom, boom, opposite, like, you know what I'm saying, like that type of pattern. You have that as an alternative. Then you have progressive, when the rhythm change and it creates a different mood, like the DJ change the fucking record on you real quick. He playing real, I'm searching for a real. Then he switch it to Milk's top billing, gets top billing. He go on to that shit real quick, like, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is. So that's like progressive, when you can stay on point. Once they change the song and all that, you went right into the next shit, you know what I'm saying, whatever, grooving in that rhythm type shit. So there's different types of rhythmic patterns, right? And like I said, you have to be musically trained in their eyes in order to kind of catch a rhythm. The reason why we have so much rhythm, because our music dealt with percussion. A lot of black people music, we have percussion in the music due to the kind of instruments we created. Now the drum, let's go back to that drum talk, right? Let's get back to that drum talk. Most indigenous cultures use the drum as a sacred tool for that represented the heartbeat, and it represented the heartbeat of the people, it represented the heartbeat of the animals, and it represented the heartbeat of the earth. You know what I'm saying? So the drum was that sacred when they played it back in the days. Not like how we just getting on the motherfuckers, doing what we do now. Them niggas was so deep with this shit. Like when they bonged that bitch, it was like, everybody heartbeat, everybody, whatever they was on, it was in tune, man. It was more spiritual than it had a spiritual meaning behind it. Africans use drums, right, to communicate. So what we call it Africans, they're not really Africans, our Kibelonians and people from that side of the terrain. they will use this shit to communicate, to celebrate, to mourn, to inspire, for peace, for war, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they would play these drums for, right? And so, one of the oldest tribes to ever like use the drum is like the Mandinka tribe. Is you know, kind of one of the oldest people that they found, you know, with the drums. They be trying to give it up to China, the Mongolians, and all of that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, saying that they created the drum and all this other shit and all of that. Cool, we're gonna let y'all have that, hats off to y'all, whatever. But we know the African motherfuckers made up the drum. We ain't even gonna play those games. So, anyway, so, you know, the Mandinka tribe in Africa, like I said, these were one of the most oldest people to ever have the drum. Did you know that drums were actually put in sunlight, right? You got to put your drum in sunlight so that it dry up, so that you get a higher pitch, so that it play better. The sound come out better when you put it in sunlight. So even drums got to go in sunlight to be used better. You know what I mean? For a better performance. You know what I'm saying? Better ability to enhance it. So even a drum got to go in sunlight. You see what I'm saying? Because when it's made out of the natural elements that is made out of alligator skin mixed with this and the wood and all of this shit and all of that, you know, that's natural elements from nature. So you using that to make a sound. You know what I'm saying? Using the wood from the plant and the thing and that, and then the damn, you know what I'm saying? All that shit is natural elements. So that has an effect when you deal with natural sound versus the synthetic sounds that we're dealing with today. And so, like I said, the drum goes back, and like I said, even got to be in sunlight like we do, so in order to better enhance and advance us, right? And so, rhythms also create moods. Rhythm is how we kind of coordinate and synchronize with other motherfuckers. You need rhythm to even build and chop it up with other people and all of that. That's why we be like, what's the vibe? Because the rhythm, it's about the rhythm. You know what I'm saying? The vibe ain't right. The vibration is what we talking about when we say vibe, y'all. We talking about vibration because everything is vibrating. You know what I'm saying? So you could come in there and be like, what's the vibe? Or feel the vibe. Or you could just know when a certain nigga rhythm is off. Like, you in the hood with niggas and you know when niggas are strapped and when niggas is about to do some other shit. You could see it. It's a rhythm. Motherfucker body language and shit and all of that. They rhythm. You like, oh shit, this nigga got the cannon on him with these niggas. I'm about to slide. Like how AZ was with Nas and Belly. Like, yo, I'm about to slide, son.